Harry and Meghan and their popularity allegedly is plummeting even further, not just here in the United Kingdom but worldwide, and more so in America, where they really do need to sort of solidify their brand. But what is their plan, and more importantly, what has made this really a turnaround and a negative for the once well loved, here in the United Kingdom at least, royal couple? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to have your company today. Listen, thank you so much for all your kind comments about some of the recent videos, including the memory of the wonderful British comedian Tony Hancock. And as you rightly said, yes, sadly, we lost him in Australia. Tragic loss for comedy, you know, as I said before, but that is life, you know, and we have to look after each other, reach out, be kind, as I'm often saying here on the show. Just, you know, look out for one another. Well, maybe you're digital and virtual, but we're all friends, you know. You know a lot about me now, I know a lot about you, and sometimes too revealing, in fact, yes. I'll have a word with you later. But on a more fun, lighter note, by the way, this is really one for the ladies, and listen, cast your mind back 57 years, particularly if you were living in Australia then, because on Derby Day, that's right, at this particular time, the beautiful model Jean Shrimpton debuted the miniskirt at Derby Day in Australia. Can you imagine, ladies? And this caused an absolute sensation. You know, it was created by the wonderful fashion designer Mary Quant, and I met Mary once actually very briefly, and it was one of those things, she sort of threw away a quip saying, you know, they needed to kickstart the fashion world. They wanted to do it in the 60s swing in London, and what better way than coming up with something that was going to create something of a storm. Boy, did it create a storm, but it also took off. Did you wear a miniskirt? Is it still at the back of the wardrobe? Can you get in it? What, you wearing it now? So am I. Anyway, back as ever to your breaking royal story of the day. This particular story really all centres on the fact that, you know, when you are a member of the British monarchy, it's all about popularity. As we've said before here on the show, it's not easy because, you know, truly, it's about whether you're up in scale or down in scale. And, you know, you have people who are perennials like the late Princess Diana, you know, but she had her dips as well. People forget that, you know, it wasn't as easy as people basically said. And it's all about really the media world, isn't it, that we live in. It's front pages, glossy magazines, keeping your profile up, as we've seen with the Duchess of Cornwall, and we've also seen, of course, with Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. They're very much liked at the moment, but they have had their dips. Now, for Harry and Meghan, it's a lot more difficult, really, for a simple reason when you think about it, is the fact that they've done so many things that have proven negative towards the British monarchy. But was it this particular incident that really alerted the rest of the world as just to how unpopular they had become? We're talking, of course, about their arrival at St Paul's Cathedral for the Thanksgiving service, in which they were booed, along with many others, I might point out, including the British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Boris Johnson. But we expect that of politicians, really, don't we? As I told you before here on the show, it's come as something of a shock. But the bigger problem for Harry and Meghan is really this. It wasn't just the booing at St Paul's Cathedral. There was a bigger situation that had developed really just prior to their return, and it's a difficult one when you think for them, because they couldn't have even thought of how popular this was going to take off. We're talking, of course, about the wonderful Top Gun premiere, which was hosted by worldwide movie star Tom Cruise, right? Now, what's interesting here, I've met Tom on many occasions. He was absolutely beguiled by the Duchess of Cambridge. And if you saw the way that he very gently offered his hand when they were going up the staircase into the premiere, you can understand how that crushed a million hearts, if you like. It was chivalry at its best. And, you know, Catherine has begun to look even more beautiful, if that's possible. She's become the poster girl for the royal family, a beautiful princess who will one day be our queen. The problem for Harry and Meghan is simply this, and I've said this many times on the show, it's going to be very difficult with their messaging. Their messaging is all woke and poor me and victimhood. And what people want in these very difficult times, particularly in the cost of living crisis times, is make sure that we see some glamour, be happy, smile, and make us feel a little bit better about our lives. If Harry and Meghan think this is the sort of end of it, well, it's going to get worse, I'm afraid, because with Catherine and William making a big trip stateside later in the year, they can at least be rest assured of a very, very warm and United States welcome when they finally hit the United States, proving only one thing, sadly, for Harry and Meghan: their popularity could even take a further dent forward. But when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.